recalling the conversation between her brothers when she was 18. They had been coveting their adopted sister for years. Second brother Luis declared, "Cora's husband can only be one of us three." Third brother, Jason, opposed him, saying that Cora would never obey. Meanwhile, eldest brother Alex stated coldly, "We've nurtured our delicate rose for years. She won't be given away to an outsider." The brothers gave Cora 2 years to decide which one of them would become her lifelong partner. Determined to escape, Cora secretly dated someone during those 2 years. She believed that as long as she married Benno, her brothers would finally let her go. What she didn't know was that her so-called boyfriend had been fooling around with her best friend, Bess, in his mansion. All 3 brothers received a message from their private bodyguard, informing them that their precious Rose was heading toward another man's mansion. These 3 powerful men decided to personally capture Cora and bring her home. Meanwhile, Cora caught Benno cheating with Bess. Without hesitation, she ended the relationship and coldly cursed him, "May you never have children." But there was little time to grieve. Her brothers had already arrived and forcibly took her back. Alex blindfolded Cora, sending her into a panic. Seeing her cry over another man enraged him. He claimed her lips possessively, forbidding her from escaping his grasp. Luis and Jason walked in on the scene, mocking Alex for being impatient. "I thought we agreed on fair competition?" It was then that Cora realized the truth. Her brothers had been monitoring her for 2 years, never intending to give her a real choice. Benno shamelessly showed up outside Cora's family home, begging for her back. Instead of stopping her, the brothers allowed Cora to meet him, knowing full well that every man outside their family was nothing but garbage. But Benno shocked Cora by trying to force himself on her in public. Terrified, Cora struggled, only to be saved by her brothers. However, the brutal way they punished Benno terrified her even more. That night, Cora had another nightmare. In her sleep, Jason sneaked into her room. Whispering, "Sister, I miss you so much," he kissed her forcefully, ignoring her resistance. His obsessive love suffocated her. In desperation, Cora slapped him hard across the face. Stunned, Jason recalled the times she used to protect him from their father's beatings. But now, seeing the hatred in her eyes, he left the room in disgrace. The next morning, Cora attempted to return to university, but Alex refused. Realizing she was being imprisoned, Cora challenged them. "If I have to choose one of you, I pick Luis. Will you let me go now?" That was not the answer Alex wanted. Instead, he locked her up. Desperate, Cora turned to Benno. Though his family was only third-rate, he might still be useful. She struck a deal with him. If she helped him escape, he had to arrange for her to leave the country. Soon, Benno found an opportunity to help Cora escape. What neither of them knew was that Luis had orchestrated the entire thing. As they rushed to the rooftop where a helicopter awaited, Benno tried to convince Cora to stay with him, but she rejected him outright. As the elevator doors opened, Cora's blood ran cold. Standing there was Luis. Cora was imprisoned by Luis, trapped in a specially designed cage where no one could disturb his sweet time with her. Confused, Cora couldn't understand why her brothers all harbored such twisted feelings toward their adopted sister. Luis sneered, "Don't you know that twisted desires can be inherited too?" His mind drifted back to their childhood. Their cruel father mercilessly whipped the 3 brothers, while Cora, their adorable little sister, became the only light in their darkness. Overcome with obsession, Luis kissed her fiercely. Just then, Luis heard noises downstairs. His brothers had come for Cora. Before they could reach her, Luis forced a special drug down Cora's throat. The drug would make her fall in love with the first man she saw upon waking. The 3 brothers fell into a brutal fight, each determined to claim Cora. Luis believed he had won. Cora would only belong to him. But he never expected Benno to break into the mansion and steal Cora away. When Cora woke up, the first man she saw was Benno. Under the drug's effects, she forgot all his past betrayals and confessed her love, begging him to marry her. Just then, her 3 brothers arrived, witnessing the shocking scene. Furious, Luis violently beat Benno. Cora desperately begged them to stop, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. In a last-ditch effort, She grabbed a fruit knife and threatened to take her own life if they didn't let Benno go. Luis snapped. He revealed the truth to her. "You only love Benno because of my drug. I will find the antidote." Jason, enraged by Luis's actions, punched him hard in the face. In the end, Benno was released, but Cora was placed under strict confinement. She wasn't allowed to take a single step away from her brothers until an antidote was found. Luis was punished with a brutal whipping. As the family head, Alex ordered Jason to stop, warning that if Luis died, Cora would never get the antidote. Cora begged Alex to let her go see Benno, terrified for her beloved's safety. Her desperation infuriated Alex. He grabbed her and kissed her aggressively, growling, "You are my rose. You belong only to me." But the thought of his brothers entering her room last night tormented him. His jealousy consumed him. For a moment, he nearly took her right then and there, but when he saw the hopelessness in Cora's eyes, he stopped. He apologized. Then, he turned to Luis and ordered him to create the antidote as soon as possible. Luis came up with a plan to break Cora's obsession with Benno. He arranged for Bess to drug Benno, ensuring he would sleep with her. Meanwhile, Cora pretended to cozy up to Jason, hoping to trick him into helping her escape. But Jason saw through her act and refused. Furious, she turned away, only to find Luis waiting for her. Luis smirked, "I'll take you to Benno right now." Benno, completely drugged, spent the entire night entangled with Bess. The next morning, Luis took Cora to witness the scene. Cora was shattered. She fled the mansion in a daze, running blindly until she collapsed. Luis chased after her. When he found her, she was unconscious. When Cora woke up, the brothers discovered she had gone blind. Luis was consumed by guilt. He vowed to find a cure for her. Losing her sight, coupled with Benno's betrayal, sent Cora into a deep depression. She lost all will to live and attempted to drown herself in the bathtub. Fortunately, Alex sensed something was wrong and saved her just in time. That night, Alex, Jason, and Luis tested different antidotes on themselves, determined to cure Cora. Hearing their agonized cries, Cora rushed to their side, grabbed the medicine, and swallowed it herself. "This is my burden to bear," she whispered. "I won't let you suffer for me." Cora was rushed to the emergency room, but in their panic, the three brothers failed to notice the lurking danger. The so-called emergency doctor was actually Bess in disguise. When Cora disappeared, the three brothers were thrown into chaos. Desperate to find her, they hunted down Benno, interrogating him about whether he had hidden Cora. Meanwhile, Cora slowly regained consciousness, only to hear Bess's voice. Confused, she couldn't understand why her once inseparable best friend had turned against her. Bess demanded, "Why did Benno's appearance make you stop seeing me?" It turned out that Bess had always been jealous of Benno. She had feelings for Cora, and because of that, she couldn't let Cora and Benno be together. She seduced Benno on purpose, just to tear them apart. On the other side, Benno began to suspect that Bess was behind Cora's disappearance. With Benno leading the way, the three brothers tracked down Bess to an abandoned building. Bess knew that Cora had always wanted to escape from her brothers. She threw a dagger to Benno, using Cora's life as leverage. "If you kill them," Bess whispered, "I'll let Cora go." Benno hesitated. At that crucial moment, Cora suddenly regained her sight. She warned Benno not to lay a hand on her brothers and confessed that her love for him was nothing but the effect of the drug. Benno refused to believe it. Enraged, he stabbed toward the three brothers, and Cora threw herself in front of them, taking the blade instead. Alex ordered a brutal punishment for Benno and Bess before exiling them abroad. After receiving medical treatment, Cora fully recovered, but she knew there was no way to sever ties with the three brothers. So, she made a decision. "If I can't escape them," she thought, "then we should stay together forever." This is a dramatic and twisted romance. Do you think Cora made the right choice? Among the three brothers, who do you think suits Cora the most?